So what is the versioning here? Keeping the multiple variants of the copy. Keeping the multiple versions of the
Multiple.
copy.
Okay.
Mean that I created object, then object is modified. I made changes to the object.
Okay.
When you don't have any versioning, what happens? If we add new data or edit the object, the old data is overwrite, the
With the
new
new
data is
data.
added.
Hmm.
When you do versioning, it keep the both copies. The previous copy which we have the previous object copy and the same name, it will keep the new data. There will be two objects will be there with the same name. Be
With the same name.
two with the same name. Okay, it
Okay.
having version ID. Okay, what is versioning? Generally, keep the
Creating
same name of the copy and keep the multiple versions. Keep the multiple version.
multiple version.
That is known as the versioning. That is known as the versioning. So means that so there is a copy is there, object is there. There is a one code, one Python code is there.
Hmm.
They written the code. Okay.
Okay.
Then next day again they added the new features or edit. Hmm?
Hmm.
When they edit or add new things, the old code will be replaced with the new
New
code.
code.
Hmm?
Okay.
No, old code is replaced with the
New code.
new code. But there is old code will be no more. There is no more of the old code. Okay. So whereas if you do the versioning, what is the problem is there? I need, suppose I need old code also.
Hmm.
I need to make another file. I need to make another file.
Okay.
Whenever you make changes, I need the
Hmm.
old file. Every time you need to create a new file. Okay.
Okay.
If you do the versioning, it will create two objects. That is the old object
Old.
and
New
new
object.
object. This old object is known as the old version, is non-current version. The new object is known as the current version. Both having the same name, same file name, multiple objects. Same file name,
Multiple objects.
multiple objects. So versioning makes what? Keep the multiple versions of object. Multiple versions of object.
Versions of an object.
Another thing is there, if you accidentally delete any object, if you do versioning, then again you can recover or restore the object. If you accidentally deleted the object,
Hmm.
if you enabled the versioning, again you can restore the object. Understood?
Okay. Okay.
If you don't have a versioning enabled, then it is not possible to recover the object. Okay.
Hmm.
Here, if you delete an object, instead of removing the object permanently, it won't remove the object permanently. Whom AWS
Version.
versioning won't remove. Instead of that, Amazon S3 creates a delete marker. One dummy object is created that is called a delete marker, which become the
Okay.
current version.
Current version.
Suppose you want to restore the previous version, you can restore. Okay.
Okay.
If you overwrite an object, here, if you overwrite an object, no?
Hmm.
S3 adds a what? New object version.
New object.
The previous version remains the non-current version. The previous version remains the non-current
Non-current
version.
version.
Okay. So here in the lab, another thing is there. Versioning is not defaultly enabled. Whenever I create a S3 object, defaultly the object is unversioned.
Unversion.
We need to enable the versioning. we need to enable the versioning. Okay. Once we had enabled the versioning, we can't go back. Means we can't make it as unversion. Understood?
Okay.
Once we had make a versioning enable bucket, you can't roll back to the unversion, but we can temporarily suspend. Okay. Once we
Okay.
have make the version bucket, we can't make it as unversion. There is a no rollback is there. From the unversion to version we can make, but version to unversion you can't go. There is no option is there. We
Okay.
can suspend the version for temporary some time. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We can suspend only versioning. We can't make a version bucket as unversion bucket.
Okay.
Okay. So why they are used? Suppose most of the companies they keep their code in the S3. Code in the
Hmm.
S3.
Yes, sir.
Huge millions of code they will put the S3. They want to execute the code from the S3 bucket, like you are storing in an external hard disk. Same thing, they um, store the code in the S3. So this over the period of the time, they are edited so many times. They will execute the code from the S3 bucket. So here the new version they are executed. The clients are like they are dissatisfied that new version or new updated features are not good. The old one is good. Okay. If you
Hmm.
don't have a versioning, we need to have multiple copies of the files. Multiple copies of the file.
Copies of the files.
Multiple copies of the file.
Copies of the files.
Instead of that, if you keep, if you have a versioning there, you can roll back to the previous version. You can easily roll back to the,
Previous version.
because I created it two versions, version 1 and version 2. Version 2 is the updated version of an application. These application features are not good, customers are not satisfied. They want to roll back to the previous version. We can
Hmm.
easily roll back to the previous version if it is versioning is there. Okay, you don't need to
Okay.
find like file, where is the file is there. If you don't have a versioning, then again we need to find the file which is the old code. Again we need to find that file and we need to deploy this one. Instead of that, automatically if you delete the current version, the previous version become the current version. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So here to create S3 versioning, by defaultly S3 versioning is disabled.
Hmm.
So I go to the S3. First I go to the S3 here. So I'll make it a bucket. Okay. Create a bucket here. Here general purpose bucket. And the name is like, so I'm just giving the name as Durga VR 456.
Hmm.
Caches are enabled. Block public access. I'll do it here. Here an option is there. What?
Enable bucket versioning, enable and
So
disable.
what is the versioning means? Versioning means keeping the
Multiple variants of an object in the
same
same
bucket.
bucket.
With the same name, you have multiple copies.
Okay.
It is uh, if we can keep the multiple copies with the same name, it is possible without versioning, or even your local computer. Can I keep the same name with the multiple files? Can I make
Hmm.
multiple files with the same name?
No, no.
So with the help of versioning only, you can create. Okay.
Okay.
Another thing is that you can versioning to preserve, retrieve, restore every version of the object. If accidentally deleted, then what happens? If accidentally deleted, what happens? Again we can restore. Understood?
Okay. Okay.
Here I'll make it as enable. So here
Okay.
create a bucket.
Okay.
I created a bucket, which is the version enabled.
Version is enabled.
So this is the bucket. The bucket name is Durga VR456.
Hmm.
In this one, first I'll upload the code. So here I just upload the code. See this. I read down a code. A is equal to 30, B is equal to 40, C is equal to A plus B, and print C. This is a simple Python code. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Here I am going to upload this one. First I will going to upload this one. Understood?
Okay.
So I do here, first thing I will create another bucket to know the difference between the version bucket and unversion bucket.
Okay.
Here this is unversion bucket. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I just upload a file, add files, and I add this file. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just give the grant public read access.
Mm-hmm.
So now uploaded the object. So now let me check the what is there in the object. Huh? So this
Okay.
I just open here. What is the code here? See this?
Mm.
A
Wait.
is equal to 30, B is
B
equal to
equal.
40,
Mm.
C is equal to A
C.
plus B, print C.
C.
Okay, done.
Done.
There is an object. There is an
Mm.
object. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
This object again I modified. What I did? I modified. Which one? I'm going to modify the object. I'm going to
Modify the object.
this. I open this object. I'll make it as A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, B is equal to 20.
20.
Okay.
Mm.
So I am again editing the changing the object. Again go to the bucket here. There is a bucket is there version 1 2 3. What is the output? That is previously one. What is the output here?
30
Only
plus 40.
here.
Mm. 70.
A is equal to 30, A is equal to 40, C is equal to A plus.
Mm.
Again I upload. I had made changes. Remember that.
Yes, yes.
Open and get permissions. Grant public read access. Now what happens? The previous file is overwrite.
Mm.
What happens?
Is replaced with a new file.
The new file. New
Mm.
file contains the same name. New file contains the what is the output here? What is this? See this? A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20.
Equal 20.
Here,
C
previous one, A is equal to 30,
is equal to 30.
B
B
is
is
equal
equal
to
to 40.
30. Edited.
Mm-hmm.
And
Edit.
that's overwrite.
Yes.
You don't have a copy of old one.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Uh-huh.
So whereas version bucket, I just go to the version bucket. Okay.
Mm.
This is a Durga version 456.
Mm.
Again I upload. Add files. See this I have a file is there. This is having a code like this. Line 1, line 2 and line 3.
Okay.
These are the lines are there.
Mm.
These are the lines are there. Add files. Version.
Mm.
Then I go to the permissions. Grant public read access. Upload. Now I successfully uploaded an object. What is the object name? That is a notepad object. So
Mm.
it's having output. See this output.
Line 1.
This is line 1. Sorry, I just. You can just exit it. So what is the output here? Line 1, line 2, line 3. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, done.
Done.
So now again I will edit. Again I edit. Okay, which
Hmm.
file? The same file which is there. Huh?
Okay.
I'll make it as a line 4, line 5,
Line
and line
6.
6. Okay.
Hmm.
Now I changed the code. Now I changed the
Change.
code. Again I go to the S3 bucket. Okay. So the same object I'm going to upload with the same name. Huh? Same
Mm-hmm.
object name I'm going to upload. So
Okay.
this is the version bucket. There is already one object is there
Hmm.
that is contains the line 1, line 2, line 3. Okay.
Line 3. Hmm.
What is the output here? Line 1, line 2, line 3.
Line 3. Hmm.
Here again I go to the upload. Huh?
Hmm.
Here add files. Here I just go to the file which I created. This file. Open. Give the permissions. Now upload. Now upload.
Okay.
So I go to here, close here. It's showing only one
Hmm.
object. But this option is disabled. Just
Okay. Enable it.
enable the show option. See this, there are two objects are there. This is old
Mm-hmm.
object. This is the
New object.
when you open this new object, what is the output?
Hmm. 4, 5, 6.
What is the output here? What is the output here?
1 to 3.
1, 2, 3. And if you see this, both having the same name. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
Both having
Same name.
the same name, but the version ID is
Different.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Suppose when you delete the this current version of the object, when you delete the
Hmm.
current version of the object,
Hmm.
this was there. It won't delete the object. Won't delete the object. Hmm?
Okay.
Instead of that, it will create what? What? It will create a delete marker. It will
Hmm.
create what? Delete marker.
Delete marker.
Nothing but a dummy object. Huh? I just go to the again this one bucket. This is the Durga 156. Here, if you just click on the show versions, what happens
Hmm.
here? There is a old one, this one, second one, and
Mm-hmm.
instead of that, this place what?
Delete marker.
It was created. Okay. When
Okay.
you delete this delete marker, this version will become the current version. The current version now delete marker.
Okay.
Understood?
సార్ ఒక్క డౌట్. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మన కరెంట్ వర్షన్ ఆల్రెడీ డిలీట్ చేసిన తర్వాత అది ఒక బ్యాకప్ ఫైల్ కింద సేవ్ అయింది స్టిల్.
బ్యాకప్ ఏమవుతుంది అసలు డిలీటే అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
అసలు డిలీటే చేయదు అది. దాని బ్యాకప్ ఏం తీసుకోలేదు అది.
ఓకే.
అది డిలీటే చేయదు అసలు. దాని ప్లేస్లో డిలీట్ మార్క్ అని పెడుతుంది అంతే.
ఓకే. బట్ స్టిల్ ఫైల్ అవైలబుల్గా ఉంటుంది రెండు ఫైల్స్ అని.
ఏ ఫైల్ ఉంటుందండి? ఎక్కడికి పోయింది? ఇక్కడ మీకు ఫైల్ ఎక్కడ పోయిందండి? ఇక్కడ చూడండి. ఫైల్ పోలేదు కదా అసలు మీకు.
ఓకే.
ఫైల్ తీయదు అసలు అది. నేను అదే చెప్పాను కదా థియరీలో మీకు. ఇట్ వోంట్ డిలీట్. ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ క్రియేట్
డిలీట్ మార్కర్.
అసలు డిలీటే చేయదు అది.
ఓకే.
అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇంకా బ్యాకప్ చేయదు అసలు, డిలీటే చేయదు అది. కరెంట్ వర్షన్ని మీరు డిలీట్ చేయాలనుకున్నప్పుడు కరెంట్ వర్షన్ డిలీట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ ఫైల్ని అసలు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ని అసలు డిలీట్ చేయదు. ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తుంది? దాన్ని డిలీట్ చేయబోదు ఆ వర్షన్ డాట్ టెక్స్ట్ పేరుతోనే ఒక ఏం క్రియేట్ చేసింది?
డిలీట్ మార్కర్.
కానీ ఇది కరెంట్ వర్షన్ అవ్వదు, ఇది నాన్ కరెంట్ వర్షన్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
ఇప్పుడు కానీ దీన్ని తీసేస్తే అది కరెంట్ వర్షన్ అయిపోతుంది. దీన్ని
ఓకే.
డిలీట్ మార్క్
ఓకే.
చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది?
కరెంట్ వర్షన్.
ఓకే, ఇంకోటి కూడా చూడండి ఇక్కడ. అనదర్ థింగ్ అబ్జర్వ్ దట్, keenly observe that. The small twist is there. Here showing the version.txt. So now it is the current version. This is the
కరెంట్ వర్షన్.
I just show this one. I just disable the show version object, show versions. I select this one. Whenever I click here delete, it shows this what delete.
Hmm.
Here what
Delete.
delete. Okay, remember the again when I enable the show version, again select this one, again I select this one,
Hmm.
then go to the delete here. See what is this thing?
Permanently delete.
When show versions option is enabled, if you delete the object, you can't recover. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay. Show
Okay.
versionings option enable see when you enable, then if you delete the current version, you can't recover. It is not possible to recover.
Okay.
Shown permanent to deletable. It will be permanently deleted. Where are this one? Shown us here. So what is the option here?
Delete.
Remember that. Okay.
Okay.
So okay. So I'll just go to the another one. Same thing we're going to do here. A small project here. Here go to the same thing. This sun version 123. This Durga version is there.
Hmm.
This Durga version is there, and show versions. Then delete here. See, it will be permanently deleted. It will be
Hmm.
permanently
Permanently
deleted.
delete.
Here, what I do here. What I do here. So this is the bucket. This is the bucket.
Hmm.
What is the bucket name is Durga 456. Durga
Hmm.
456. And this one, I'll make it as a static website. This bucket I make it as a,
Static website.
just click on this one. Then go to the properties to make static website. Properties.
Hmm.
Just scroll down here. And to make it as a static website, click on edit. Select the
Hmm.
option enable. Then select the option. Type here index.html. Type here.
Index.html.
Then
I,
here,
I missense.
one minute, I will make it.
Okay.
Error, error.html.
Hmm.
Here, index.html. Is that?
Index.html.
So index.html, second one is what? Error.html.
Dot.html.
So now save changes. Now save changes. Here this bucket is already version enabled.
Hmm.
There is index page is there. I just open this index page with the notepad. So this is that code. This is
Hmm.
data pro. This is the shopping website. Huh?
Hmm.
This is output. What is the output?
This is a shopping site and this is
This is
data.
the data pro. This is the,
Shopping site.
that is the output. Understand?
Hmm.
That is the output.
Okay. Hmm.
So then this is output. I just upload the error file also. Here see this error file. Just open this error file. Welcome to error page. Welcome to error page.
Error page.
Here I just go here. First I upload the object. First I upload the
Object.
object. Upload the object. Which objects I upload? Index file and the error file.
Error file. Hmm.
Then I will make the changes. Understand?
Okay.
Then what happens? So I just open this one and added this one. I will make it as public.
Hmm.
This remember that grant public read access is the thing. So mean that public read access means other people can read only. If they
Hmm.
suppose I had deployed a website.
Hmm.
See this. There is a situation is there like this sometimes. So what happens here? This S3 bucket is there. And this one have a website is there. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
all objects are there. Objects are there.
Hmm.
So this object having login page,
Okay.
or else I need to send feedback.
Hmm.
Feedback. So this feedback will taken from the input from whom? User or myself?
User.
Okay.
Hmm.
If we have a read, public read, he can open the feedback page, but he can't submit the feedback page, right? He doesn't have right.
Yes, yes. On the read access is there.
Understood?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, here I am giving a, because I am taking not taking any input from the user, then I'll put here grant public readers. Okay, no problem.
Hmm.
Then to make it as a publicly available bucket,
Hmm.
one option is there that is called as a in the properties. Huh? Yeah, in the permissions, we need to change the bucket policy.
Okay.
Bucket policy. Here, edit here.
Hmm.
Here, if you don't know this one, go to the Google and see. Moment. So this is the code. Hmm?
Hmm.
Here, see this in this code, publicly read publicly write అని మనం రాసుకుంటే ఇక్కడ there are multiple of setting permissions. ఇవన్నీ పాలసీస్ దీంట్లో మనం ఒక పాలసీ వెతకాలి. ఏ పాలసీ వెతకాలా? పబ్లిక్ పాలసీ వెతకాలి. ఇది ఉంది కదా, ఇక్కడ పాలసీ జనరేటర్లో కొట్టినా వస్తుంది. ఎడిట్ బకెట్ పాలసీ కౌంటింగ్ పబ్లిక్. So this one, okay.
Hmm.
Here you need to give your bucket name. Here you need to give the.
Bucket name.
So what is the bucket name here? Durga Varsh 456.
Or first.
It allows the public.
Okay.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Understood. So this thing need to be added. So here having pulse examples are there. You can go here, check here public examples. There are public examples are there. Granting the read only
Read
permission.
only permission.
Read only permission. This one. There are permissions are there. You can check this all policies. Huh?
Okay.
So you can just add that policy that will make it public. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now see this. This is the bucket is there. That is the bucket is there. So I had just uploaded a one error file and index file. Huh?
Mm.
Just go to the properties and to access this S3 static website, copy the URL, and paste it and enter here. So what is the output here?
This is data pro. This is a shopping site. Mm.
Okay. So
Mm.
this is the first object I have. Again I do what I do. I'll make changes to the this index file. Make to the index file.
Index.
So I'll just go to the open with Notepad or VS Code. Here this Data Pro, I'll make it as a Ultra Pro. Okay,
Mm.
make it as Ultra Pro. Hmm?
Okay.
Okay, I'll make changes. I made the some changes. Huh?
Mm.
Error pair also I will is understood. Huh?
Okay.
So here, what is the output here? Previously, huh?
This is a data pro. This is the shopping
I'll
center.
just upload the new file, new
Mm.
code. Huh?
Okay.
So that is index page and error page. Both page I'm going to upload. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So now I just go here, go to permissions, grant public data access, understand order, approve. Okay.
Okay.
Now I upload it. So now these two objects will become the current version. Understood?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
There are multiple index pages are there. This is the old index page, this is the new index page. See this. It was uploaded at 921. Huh? The new
Mm-hmm.
index page uploaded at
927.
the error page is there. It is 921 and new one is 927.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So done. Huh? So I'll just go to the properties again. Check the output of the
Extra testing.
website. I'll check the output of the website. So when I click here this now, what
This
happened?
is change. The modified code is came.
Because automatically it deployed the new version.
New version. Mm.
Suppose what happens here, I want to deploy, I am not satisfied with the new code. I am not satisfied with the new code.
New code.
Then I just go to this Vega version. I just delete this both. Delete, just delete this both. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
The new version I am going to delete. Huh?
Okay.
And I do it as permanent delete. Is a permanent delete.
Permanent edit.
This is a 926 and 927.
Mm.
Give it here. The both delete. So now deleted. Huh? Now the old version will become the current version.
Mm.
Old version become the
Current version.
again go to the properties here. Just copy this URL and paste here. The same thing it will be automatically restored. Okay? Like that you
Mm-hmm.
can roll back. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Got it. Mm.
You can't keep the index files multiple. With the same name, can you keep the index file with a different code? Here we are keeping the same name and different code. But it is
Mm.
possible without versioning, we can keep the same name with index.html.
No.
It is possible? Not possible. How
No.
it is
Not
possible?
possible.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what? Versioning.
Version.
Clear? That's where versioning is clear.
Ah.
Okay, next thing is there. And next thing is there. Next topic. What is the next topic? Is presigned URL. Is that presigned URL? Okay. So what does mean presigned URL? I have a bucket. In this bucket, objects are in the private mode. What is that? Objects are in private mode. Okay.
Mm.
If objects are in the private, I don't give any permission through ACL. Then what happens? Then other persons cannot access the object. They don't have a permissions to access the object. Even doesn't have a read permission. Understood?
Mm.
But when you share the object with a present URL, huh?
Mm. Mm.
By the default, all objects are what?
Private.
Only owner can have permission to access this, isn't it?
Yes.
However, the object owner may share objects with other by creating a what? Present URL.
Press and over.
If the object is there private, still we can access for some time, for time limit. See this. The, what is it? Grant
Time
the
limit. Time limit.
time limit. Suppose I have a Netflix subscription there. For the when you done the subscription first time, suppose they had given the trial version to watch the video like 4 hours. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
So then, but the 4 hours you're going to watch. Then after 4 hours, automatically the subscription you need to subscribe to make it as trial to the like subscription version.
Hmm.
Okay, you can
Hmm.
access that object.
Yes.
Then the object become private.
Hmm.
Okay, some maybe video will be there, some maybe movie will be there. Yeah, same thing here. Okay, so first I will create a bucket. Okay, first I create a bucket. First
Bucket.
I create a bucket. Okay, you can create a present URL for sharing object without any writing any code. S3 console. Huh? S3 console. Here I'll make it a bucket. Hmm? I'll just ACLs are enabled and so I just make it as a create a bucket. I created a
Hmm.
bucket.
Hmm.
Select not problem. Okay. Name and module. Okay. Okay. I created a bucket. Huh?
Hmm.
So I created a bucket. The name is
Very
Pre
good.
Durga BKT. Pre Durga BKT.
Hmm.
Here I'm going to upload an object. I'm going to upload an object. And I'll just go here.
Hmm.
I'll just upload an object. Okay. I just want to upload it. By the default, object is what?
Private.
I just uploaded. By default, object is what? Private.
Private. Hmm.
Now I upload it. I just click on this object. How will I access the object? To access the object, it will create an endpoint, isn't it?
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
I just go to the object here. This is object URL and paste here. So
Hmm.
what happens? You don't have a permission
Hmm.
because the object is what? Private mode.
Private mode.
It is accessible.
Hmm.
Okay, done.
Got it. Hmm.
Then I'll make it as a by using the presign URL we're going to access. Huh? I'll
Okay.
go to the
Hmm.
bucket here again.
Hmm.
Select the object
Hmm.
to make it as a presign URL to access this object by using presign URL.
Hmm.
Select the object. Go to the actions. Select the
Share.
share with the
Share with
presign URL. Share with the
presend URL.
here anyone can access the object with the presign URL until it expires. Even the bucket
Okay.
is object is in the private mode. If the object is there in private still,
Hmm. For a
you can
limited
access
time,
with
it
the
can be
particular
accessed.
time
Hmm.
limit. Here the time limit is start for 1 minute to 720 minutes. Understood?
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
12 hours.
Hmm.
In the console mode, you can maximally set the time for 12 hours only. In the next class, we are going to access the S3 bucket
Hmm. Hmm.
through the command prompt. Mean that AWS services can be accessed not only from the console, you can
Hmm.
access from the CMD means CMD command prompt
Hmm.
is the
Hmm.
and also SDK, that is software development. Suppose you have Python SDK, I created a
Hmm.
Python code. Then this
Hmm.
Python code need to be deployed to the AWS. They need to use the AWS service. You don't need to log in into the AWS console. Okay, from the
Okay.
SDK you can directly log into SDK. You can access the you can integrate the AWS service with the code.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay. Hmm.
Here, how many hours is the maximum here? 12 hours. In the console,
Hmm.
the maximum is 12 hours. If we
Hmm.
access from the SDK, we can access from the CMD, the time will be high, not 12 hours. Huh?
Okay.
Here number of hours I'll make it as, I'll select the minutes, I'll just make it as 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes. Create present URL. Then you check here one option if there what?
Copy, place, and URL.
I just copy here. Copy here and paste here and paste here. So what is
Mm.
this? From the internet I am accessing the object. Even the
Okay.
object is in the private mode.
Mm.
If you enable the present URL, when you
Still
access the
within
present
access.
URL, it automatically supply the credentials which you need to connect. But
Mm.
to access the object, we need credentials because it is in a private mode. It
Yes.
automatically provides. AWS present URL will provide the temporary credentials to access the object.
Okay.
Understood?
Why a presign URL? Mm.
Present URL. So I had just given the time interval. How much time?
2 minutes.
So let me check after 2 minutes how the behavior is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check after
After
the
two
2 minutes
minutes.
how the behavior is.
Mm.
Can I access that bug? Can I access that object?
No.
Let me check.
Mm.
So we'll wait for 2 minutes. We'll wait for the 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So here AWS is compared to Azure. AWS console is very easy to understand. Very easy.
Okay. Mm.
Azure is complicated. Okay.
Mm.
Azure
Mm.
portal is more complicated. Once you are learned the AWS, then you go for the Azure. You feel that Azure is more complicated and slow also. Suppose I create EC2, it will take not more than 15 seconds, 10 seconds it will create it. But whereas in
Yeah.
the Azure takes more time. Azure takes
Okay.
more time to create a virtual machine. Hmm? But
Okay.
thing is there, AWS is very simple and easy to learn. Whereas Azure little bit tricky and complicated. But thing is there, uh, the steps we are creating any service very less in Azure
Okay.
compared to AWS. AWS
అంటే
having
ఇప్పుడు
more steps.
ఓకే.
AWS having a
మోర్ స్టెప్స్.
so like multiple steps there. But here AWS is very easy, really very easy. Means that all the console clearly we have options is there like this one. If you go copy here, it will clearly is there. You can have it doesn't have like already all options are there. Very easy to understand. All the options are visible to you. But whereas in Azure, suppose if you take a version, you need to go for general again go to inside. Understand?
ఒకసారి చూపిస్తారు సార్ అది ఉంటుంది అంటే మామూలు రఫ్ ఐడియా కోసం.
Like can I just refresh it? What happens here?
యాక్సెస్ ఇస్తుంది. రిక్వెస్ట్ యాజ్ ఎక్స్పైర్.
Okay. So what happens now? The present URL
ఈజ్ ఎక్స్పైర్డ్.
expired. Okay. So that is what what that is what present URL. That is the
ప్రెసెంట్ యూఆర్.
present URL.
ప్రెసెంట్ యూఆర్.
The next topic is the accessing the AWS service from the command line interface.
కమాండ్ లైన్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్.
Mean that from the command line interface also we can manage the AWS service. This is the Azure portal.
ఓకే.
This is Azure portal. Understood? Here we can create the virtual machines. Little bit slow this. So like EC2, this is virtual machine.
ఓకే.
The options are there. Here create virtual machine. It takes more time compared to AWS. See this loading here.
ఎస్ ఎస్.
subscription, region, virtual machine name, hmm? operating system. Hmm?
Mhm.
Here see this disk networking. I told you that inside,
Yes, yes.
inside. Whereas AWS is not like that.
Mhm.
It will be like here horizontal, vertical. Same here inside. You go to inside. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what the Azure portal.
Mhm.
Whereas Google portal, you don't need to create any account. Automatically it will be created. You just need to verify with the credit card. You don't need anything like. I don't need to separately. You don't need to create any version. Whenever you create a Google, that is Gmail account, automatically Google provided account also created.
Okay.
But thing is there, you need to verify the credit card for the accessing the services. It automatically create. No need to create anything. It automatically created.
Mhm.
See this. This is a console, Google console. So I don't have created anything. It's automatically created. Google Chrome. This is Google Chrome. Hmm?
Mhm.
Here go to the view all products. See this. Under the compute we have a virtual machine. Hmm?
Mhm.
It will somehow lot like AWS. Hmm?
Mhm.
This is Google console. This is the
Google
Google
Console.
console. So here it is known as the compute engine. AWS EC2, Azure virtual machine, whereas here compute engine.
Compute.
Compute engine.
Compute engine.
Here VM instances, create instance. So see here, same thing. Instance name, region, series. Huh?
Mhm.
No, no.
Mhm.
Like this is what? Google.
Okay.
Okay. It is to better to have knowledge on the multi-cloud
Okay. Mhm.
instead of single. One thing I want to tell you that AWS cloud is a basic like in like 20 years back, each and every person have a computer literacy means that he should know the MS Office. Like that, if you are a software professional,
Mhm.
the basic skill is the any one of the cloud.
Yes. Mhm.
Doesn't mean that I'm not telling you that without with AWS you won't get a job. Definitely you will get a job, but doesn't mean
Mhm.
that only AWS only yield you a job. You need to
Mhm.
add some extra skills, like you need to add some DevOps, or suppose
Mhm.
like you are a full stack developer. Even if
Mhm.
you are a full stack developer, Java full stack developer, or else you are a Python full stack developer, still you need to know the AWS because you need to
Mhm.
work on the AWS.
Yes. Yes.
Most of the people doesn't know that. So they learn the full stack AWS full stack, sorry,
Mhm.
Java full stack, but they don't have a knowledge of AWS. When you join the company, they tell you to work on the GitHub and like AWS, and there's some things are there. You should aware of these basic things. Even you are a Java full stack. So most of the training institutes they are adding the AWS, Docker, and GitHub, and in the full stack also.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
There's a there's a basic literacy. Cloud is the basic. Any one of the cloud. I'm not
Mhm.
telling you that to learn only AWS cloud. You should
Okay.
know the any one of the cloud. Understood?
Okay. Okay. Mhm.
Okay, done. So okay. The next
Mhm.
thing is there to access the AWS services. To access the AWS services, what you are using here? AWS console. Isn't it?
Mhm.
AWS console. Okay.
Mhm.
So through console only we are managing the AWS services. console only you're managing
Yeah,
the.
ma'am. AWS services.
But thing is there, you can manage your AWS services by using AWS SDK, brother, SDK. Okay,
Hmm.
service software development kit, huh? Or
Hmm.
else you can manage through CLI. You can manage through.
CL.
So command line interface AWS CLI is unified tool to manage your AWS service with just one tool to download and configure. You can manage your AWS services. Okay.
Okay.
So in Azure it is known as the portal. Azure is known as the portal,
Total.
whereas in AWS it is known as the console.
Comes. Hmm.
Azure portal, Azure portal,
Hmm.
whereas AWS console. Both are
Console.
same, but they are
Hmm.
given the name like that. AWS console, whereas in Azure it is known as the not console. It is a portal.
Portal. Hmm. Naming convention is different.
Just they are given the name only. Portal.
Hmm.
Okay. So now, how you manage the AWS services through CLI or command prompt? For first that one, I need to type AWS 64. What I need to download?
AWS 64. CLI 64.
64. I need to download the software to access the AWS services from my command line. Understood?
Okay. Hmm.
I just click on this one. Yeah, just click on this one. Here, from which machine you want to access, whether you are using Windows or whether you are using Linux or whether you are using a Mac. No issue.
Hmm.
From any machine we can access. Suppose I am using a Windows, my computer is local computer is what? Windows.
Windows.
From the Windows command line interface, I need to access. Then we need to download this one.
Okay. Hmm.
Then we need to download
This one.
the software I need to download. Understand?
Hmm.
So I just click on this one. Which one? Just click on this one. Huh?
Hmm.
When you click on this one, it will be downloaded.
Hmm.
Understand? It
Hmm.
is downloaded. Understood?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
they need to install. You just click the next. Okay?
Hmm.
Which software I need to install?
AWS CLI.
The link also I had given you in the
Hmm.
WhatsApp. Huh? No
Okay.
need to worry.
Hmm.
Once I install this one, which one? This one.
Hmm.
How to check that whether the AWS CLI is installed in our computer? Go to the CMD. Go to the.
CLI.
How will you go to the CMD? Go to Windows R. Huh? Type
Uh-huh.
CMD. Type CMD. The thing is there, most of the people, even BTech people, doesn't know how to go to the command prompt. That is a pity thing. You are learning a cloud computing and asking me to tell you that what is the run command, what is the CMD. Hmm?
Hmm.
How will you survive in the market? Hmm?
Hmm.
Even you are a BTech computer engineer, I'm not asking you about some of the people,
Hmm.
they doesn't know the command prompt. They
Hmm.
don't know how to open the command prompt. Then how will they survive? No problem. If you don't know, then also they'll survive. They'll get the part. Get the. But thing is, there you need to work more hard. Like they need to work on like 4 5 hours. They don't work. They don't want to
Hmm.
work. They don't want to do the hard work. Huh? They don't know anything. Still, they need job. How will you get the job?
Hmm.
That is impossible. Okay. So
Hmm.
right now the thing is there. Very hard situation is there and outside. Very hard situation. It's not like 10 years, 20, 15 years back when you used to study. That is very easy. Huh? Easily
Hmm.
you can get the job. Once I go to the interview, when I attend the interview, that time they ask only 2 3 questions only.
Hmm.
So, so now now even still now I'm attending interview. Now you do know that how much time they will take to they interview me. Like sometimes it may be 1.5 hour also.
Hmm.
Sometimes it may be.
1.5 hour.
If we want to face the interview for 1.5 hour, so that means that how much skills you need. You need to be ready to do the interview. If you don't have a skills, then how you can survive for 1.5 hour?
No.
At least 45 minutes they will do interviews. Remember that.
Mm.
Try
Mm.
to be prepared for that one. Not like that they will ask a one question and two questions, then over they will get a job. That is a myth. That is the olden days. Now that is not happening.
Mm.
Now entire scenario is changed. Okay.
Okay.
So now once I install the CLI, see this.
Mm.
How to check the CLI AWS services are installed AWS hyphen version. Hmm?
Version. Mm.
When I type this one, it shows the AWS CLI and it is already inbuilt Python is there. AWS
Okay.
CLI, it is installed. Done.
Mm.
So if you get error, when you execute this command, if you get error, means that this CLI is not installed. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Other than this message, means you got error. Then what happens? It is not installed. Okay?
Okay.
So now to access the AWS services, first we need to create a security credential to log in from the console, from the command prompt.
Mm.
From the command prompt to log in into the AWS, I need to create a security credentials. From here I am going to log in. I don't use any AWS username and password.
Mm.
For that one, I need to create a temporary credential from the console.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm.
For that one, go to the search bar, type IAM. We are going to learn IAM the next class. Means maybe in Monday.
Mm.
Monday we are going to cover. Monday or Saturday we are going to cover. Which service?
IA.
So here in the search bar, I type IAM. I type IAM.
Mm.
Then I told you to create a what? Security credentials.
Mm.
Here on the right side we have a. In the right side we have what?
Security credentials.
So
Nice.
security credential.
Mm.
Under the security credentials, we have another option is there called access keys. Right?
Access key.
So when you having a new account, you don't have any access key. When
Mm.
you have a new account, you don't have any access keys. Remember that.
Huh.
This is the account which is created the old account. It is around 1.5 year back I had created. Hmm?
Mm.
So now, how many access key can be created? Only two access keys can be created. Hmm?
Okay. Mm.
See this. This access key can call what? AWS CLI, AWS PowerShell, AWS SDK, and API calls.
Mm.
Understood?
Mm. Okay.
Here there is already I created this one. The default no keys will be there. Got it?
Okay. Mm. Yes.
Now
Yes.
what
Yes.
happens here? I'll just go to this key, and first who can create only two keys, man. Remember that.
Mm.
That's why I'm creating, deleting the old key. Deleting the old key. First I need to create what? Key. First
Mm.
I need to create a key.
Okay.
Then go to the create access key here. Click on the create access key here. I understand. Create access key.
Mm.
It will create access key in secret key. You can
Okay.
copy in the notepad. This one.
Okay.
You can copy in the
Mm.
notepad. Or else you directly click on the download CSS. Download CSS here. Done. Okay.
Mm.
When I open this one, see this, when I open this one, this Excel sheet having a access key and secret key. Access key and a
Security.
secret key. Okay. Here,
Mm.
what is that? I have already installed.
Mm.
To connect or to make login into the AWS, first the command is AWS configure. What is the command here?
AWS config.
Configure. This is the command I need to type. AWS configure. Okay,
Mm.
done.
Mm.
Once I had AWS configure, it asks for what? Access key.
Access key. Mm.
You have an access key already downloaded access key.
Mm.
Access key. Copy. I pasted here. I pasted here. Enter.
Mm.
Then
Mm.
it asking for the.
Secret X.
It is
Password.
also there. It is also there.
Mm.
Copy here. Paste here. Okay. Then it asks for the which region you want to. Oh. which region
Hmm.
we want to work. By default
Okay.
region I use always, you know already that is US
Hmm.
East one.
Hmm.
That is the North Virginia, isn't it?
Ah, yes. Yes, sir. North Virginia. Hmm.
So if you want to work on other region, suppose I don't need this North Virginia, I need
Hmm.
to use another region. You can
Hmm.
select the region code. How will you know the region code? Here North Virginia is, what is the region code?
US East one.
Suppose is Mumbai is there. How is the region code?
AP. AP South one.
The region code you need to type here. AP
Hmm.
South. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
I don't want any region. I need to stick to the my same default region. I just take enter two times. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Done. Huh? So then
Hmm.
there is a command is there. I just send to this command list, and tomorrow we'll discuss this command. The
Hmm.
same command here. I want to list the S3 bucket. Okay. What are there in the console? Just type AWS S3 LS.
Hmm.
Okay. When
Hmm.
I type here enter, if everything is good, then it lists the
Okay. Ah, okay. Whatever they. Oh, got it. Understood. Huh.
buckets are listed.
Hmm.
So any service you can manage from the command
Hmm.
line. Not only S3. Suppose I want to create EC2, you can create EC2. For that one,
Hmm.
you need to have a some like commands or code is there. You need to go to the documentation, and we need
Hmm.
to just instead of going to the console, we just execute the command here, script here.
Okay.
So then, if you
Hmm.
run the script here, it will create EC2. Even you can manage the EC2 also. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
So now you can see this list the bucket.
Hmm.
Suppose I want to create a bucket. So
Hmm.
to create a bucket, AWS S3 command MB means main bucket, and need
Hmm.
to be follow this format S3 colon here CMD Durga 345. Okay,
Hmm.
enter.
Hmm.
Check here, bucket is created not. Now what?
Hmm. Yes, it is created. Hmm.
Same thing. I just go to the console. Here bucket is created.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I want to delete the bucket.
Hmm.
Same command. Instead of MB, just replace with RB. RB means remove bucket.
Remove bucket. Yeah.
Enter. Okay. Now
Hmm.
I just go to the AWS S3 LS. Now bucket is removed. Got it?
Got it. Got it. Hmm.
So these are basic commands I just shown you. Some extra commands are there. How to
Hmm.
manage this three. Tomorrow I will discuss. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sir.
Okay. Any doubt?
Ah.
No,
Clear,
no.
sir.